Hey, what's going on, guys? So, I wanted to take a break from the normal type videos that I do where I do like a Naruto discussion or a Boruto discussion, go over Naruto lore, talk about the true power of the characters, do a Naruto what if, or, just what you guys have normally done. And I just wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite characters in the series, Jiraiya. And the reason why is, like, right now, I got the animation for the next what if, like, and I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but I got the animation and I've got my script mostly done. Like, I'm gotta go through, gotta do some tweaking on a few different things, but I've been going back and rereading the manga to check on a few things while I do the script, and I decided to do something different this time. I decided, you know what, it's been a while since I've watched the early parts of the Naruto anime. And for those of you who don't know, like, I'm not a huge fan of the anime. I love the manga, but like when it comes to the Naruto anime, the Naruto Shippuden anime, I don't like either one of them. I really don't like either one. And so I've been going back and I've been watching the episodes, in particular the dub, because I've mostly watched everything through the sub. I prefer the sub version. And so I've been going through and I've been watching the dub, and my only experience with the dub before this was I had played the video game. I had played the video game, so I heard the dub voices. That was pretty much my only experience with the English dub of Naruto. And so I've been watching the episodes, and I've gotten to the point where, Jiraiya's shown up, right? And I was very, very quickly impressed by Jiraiya's English dub voice actor and how he's able to capture just the animated and goofy nature of Jiraiya. But when we got to the part where Naruto's trying to get trained by Jiraiya, I was reminded why I love Jiraiya so much. So when Jiraiya is giving out the measurements and everything, saying, what he wants brought to him, he says, I like him thick and juicy, kid. I like him curvy. I like him real big with some meat to him. And Naruto's like, I know exactly what you like. Hold on, I'll be right back. And then he brings a watermelon. When Naruto brings a watermelon, like I absolutely died laughing, and that's a complete and total homage to what Akira Toriyama did in Dragon Ball. For those of you who don't know, like, Kishimoto was a huge Dragon Ball fan, and part of Master Roshi agreeing to train Goku and Krillin is they had to bring an attractive woman, and Goku was just completely failing this, and the gag was like Krillin couldn't ride the flying Nimbus because he had a dirty and impure mind, and it's because he knew exactly what Roshi was looking for or whatnot, and so they ended up bringing back Launch, and Launch had curves and stuff to her, and so that's an homage to it. But when I was watching that scene, and I was just laughing my ass off, okay, because like in the manga, when Jiraiya is getting ready to do the spying and everything, you actually see into the bathhouse and you see the women, like you actually see them bathing, and there's a lot more curves and everything that have been revealed. The anime, for obvious reasons, can't show it in the detail that Kishimoto did. It's not on the level of something like Fairy Tail, but at the same time, like, there was some clear fan service when Naruto uses the sexy jutsu. There's a lot less smoke in the manga, but like when I was watching the anime version and Jiraiya's just like, yeah, I'll agree to train you, kid, but only if you stay like that the whole time. And he's just doing things with his fingers and the nosebleeds, and like Jiraiya's just completely goofy. And like I have a huge weak spot for the perverted old men in shonens. Like, I just have a weak spot, and they don't even have to be old men. It can be like Kon and Bleach, right? Like I just love them because they're so comedic, right? They're so lecherous and comedic. Like in Inuyasha, Moroku is my favorite character. And it's because like when he's groping and everything, he's just like, yeah, oh man, this hand is cursed. And his hand literally is cursed because he's got the wind tunnel in it. But it's just like there's so many gag moments there. And when I was reading Naruto, Jiraiya's perversion, I always found it funny, but also like the fact that, at the same time, like when you read Jiraiya, it's just like 1 minute he'll be perverted, and then the next minute he's dead serious. And when he's giving Naruto all these like crazy tasks to learn the Rasengan, you're like, what the hell is the point of this? And then you find out, like, wait a second. Like when he's actually showing Naruto, like, no, look, kid, I'm telling you to do all this different stuff because it's needed to learn the Rasengan. Look at this. And then he just pops a balloon on his own. He pops a rubber ball on his own. And it's just like, oh my God, this guy's actually a pretty good teacher. Like, this guy is a really good teacher. You know, you don't see exactly what he's trying to tell you, but then when everything comes together, you're like, oh my God, this makes sense now. You know, and it fits into the whole trope of you have like the wise master who makes you do all these crazy things, like in the Karate Kid or Mr. Miyagi, where he's like, wax on, wax off, Daniel-san, wax on, wax off. And all of a sudden, he's actually blocking. And it's just like, oh my God, Naruto is learning the Rasengan. And it's just like when you watch Naruto triumph, at the same time, it felt as if you were watching Jiraiya triumph. And when Naruto came back from his training with Jiraiya and he's in Konoha and Jiraiya's saying, never use that jutsu again. You get this like foreboding, and then you find out that Naruto, when he's training with Jiraiya, had gone into the four-tailed state and had attacked Jiraiya, and Jiraiya compares it to being the closest he's come to death since Tsunade cracked all of his ribs because he was spying on her. Like, it just showed a level of gravity, but at the same time, like, the whole time that's happening, it's just like, in a twisted way, it's almost as if Jiraiya was proud of Naruto. He was terrified for him because he's his godson. And in a way, he's terrified of Naruto, but at the same time, he's proud of him. He's just like, that's my boy. And that's always the vibe I got. And that's something I've always loved about Jiraiya. Like, there are so many different layers to his character. It's so easy to say that he's just a pervert. And yet there's so much to him. Like, Jiraiya was a failure. Let's just say it for what it is. Jiraiya was a failure. Like, on one hand, he wrote... his books were read by so many different people, and yet he never got the girl of his dreams. And then when he goes off on the mission, he finally, after decades, keep that in mind, after decades, Tsunade agrees, like, hey, when you come back to the village, I'll give you that date that you've been waiting on, right? It's like Jiraiya's just like, I'm finally gonna smash. I'm finally gonna get some of Tsunade. And then all of a sudden, he fails on the mission when he gets the pain and he dies. And if I'm not mistaken, before he actually died, he was like, yeah, I'm a failure. I was never able to get the girl of my dreams. I was never able to save my friend, et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't able to save my student, referring to Minato. Just all these different things. And it's just like, that is so sad. That is really sad. And yet at the same time, it's inspiring because Jiraiya's death showed you that, like, hey, man, you know, when it comes to life, you're not going to accomplish everything you set out to. But if you make the most of what you got while you're here, yeah, you might die with some regrets. But at the same time, you can still die with a smile on your face, because that's what Jiraiya did before he went off. He was like, yeah, I'll call the third part Naruto. Yeah, that's got a nice ring to it. And he just died with a sense of closure. He died with a smile on his face. He died on his own terms. And I think that's like the one thing when it comes to Jiraiya that I think we focus so much on the pervy nature that we overlook that. The guy died on his own terms. Like, sure, he probably wanted to stick around more. That way he could find out what it's like to be inside of Tsunade, so he could give her that super special Mount Miyaboku dick down. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, but you passed on some really important information to your student. And it's just like rereading this, right? You know, I had so many different emotions when these chapters are coming out because I was terrified because at that point in the time, like, Jiraiya was my favorite character of the story. And I was like, oh my God, he's actually going to kill off. Jiraiya's going to die. I cannot believe this. It was just like a slow drum beat. It was like a slow drum beat towards it. And you had like the whole flashing back and forth between what's going on with Sasuke and Itachi. And then you had that stuff. And it's just like, I don't think you can fully appreciate how Jiraiya went out. And I think having some, distance between it. It's been several years since that chapter came out. And now you got some distance between it. like Jiraiya might hands down have the most beautiful death in the series. I mean, that's very interesting. I think it's probably going to piss some people off, but I think Jiraiya's death might actually be the most beautiful thing about his character. But I mean, that's just kind of how I feel. What I want to ask you guys, what I want to ask you all is, what is your favorite Jiraiya memory? You know, for me, it's hands down when he's trying to have Naruto bring him a woman and Naruto brings him that watermelon. That's my favorite moment, okay? That's my absolute favorite moment when it comes to Jiraiya, because that's just hands down funny, because, I mean, it just shows how much of an idiot Naruto is, but at the same time, it just shows you how much of a lecher Jiraiya is. Like, when my dude's like, I'm not a pervert, I'm a super pervert. Like, I love that, man. I love that. I cannot stress that enough. Like, those are like my top 2 favorite moments. So I want to know for you guys, like, what is your favorite moment? What are your favorite 2 moments when it comes to Jiraiya? Let's make this fun. But before we get out of here, as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share, and never forget that Senju DNA is love and Senju DNA is life.